Shalom. Today I am going to explain about the history of Iran. How many races were there? Let us see. Genesis 10 chapter 2nd verse. The sons of Japheth were Gomer, Magog, Madai. This Madai was the son of Japheth. Noah had three sons, Shem, Ham and Japheth. In Hebrew it is Japheth. The son of Japheth or Japheth was Madai. He is the father of Iran. Madai was the father of Iran, means Persia. Its old name was Persia. Actually, the father of Persia was Japheth because Madai was the son of Japheth. So, they reached to this area and established a kingdom that is called Babylon. Other race also there. Genesis 10 chapter 22nd verse. The sons of Shem were Elam, Ashur and others. So the sons of Shem, Elam, he also reached to next to this area. So father of Elam was Shem. Shem was son of Noah. So Madai and Elam, both races were very important to establish Persia. Genesis 14 chapter. Kedorlaomer, king of Elam, Kedorlaomer. Ancient king Kedorlaomer. So these two nations were pagan nations. They worshipped pagan gods. These two nations were powerful nations. Three kingdoms in this zone: Elam, Babylonian and Zion. Zion means Israel. Elam and Babylon, both the nations were very ancient nations. Madai is Persia. Persia is Iran. Babylon or Persia's old capital city was Ecbatana. In Hebrew, its name was Paris. P-A-R-S. Paris. This is Achaemenid Empire by King Cyrus or Koresh. Koresh is a Hebrew word. Medes and Persians Empire. Esther, Daniel, Ezra, Nehemiah, all were very famous in this empire. Old Iranian name is Arya. It was mentioned in Zoroastrian Avestan. It was their famous book. They found Ardashir's inscription on coin of Shapur Pahlavi. Shapur inscription Yedda. Kabai Jartoshet AD 262 Iran. E-R-A-N they mentioned. These are the ancient names of the Persia, ancient names of the Iran. Bible clearly mentioned about the ancient names of the Iran country. Iran was very famous in olden days. King Cyrus was very famous in those days. King Cyrus reconstructed Jerusalem temple. Isaiah 45 chapter. Thus says Adonai to Koresh, he is anointed, whose right hand he has grasped, so that he subdues nations before him and strips kings of their robes, so that doors open in front of him and no gates are barred. Prophet Isaiah clearly prophesied about King Koresh or King Cyrus. King Cyrus was anointed by God. God's right hand is with him. He subdues the nations. He stripped the kings of the robes. God opened doors before him. Cyrus, he was an agent of freedom, liberty and independence. He loved people very much. He respected their ancient cultures. He respected their gods, their culture. He honored the people. He is very liberal king. Cyrus' rule is a golden rule in Persia. Babylon is enemy to Cyrus. He conquered Persia. Jews were exiled in the Babylonian country. Babylon means Iran. Iran means Persia. Persian kings Cyrus, Artaxerxes allowed Jewish people from exile to Jerusalem. They allowed them to construct temple once again in Jerusalem. All are Persian kings. All are belongs to Iran. Iranian kings were helped and supported to construct the Jerusalem temple. This Madai race and Elam race both became nations at that time. So King Cyrus, King Koresh, he unified these two races and established a kingdom that is called Persia, Iran. Daniel's visions about Persia and also about the birth of the Cyrus, King Cyrus. He mentioned very clear in his prophecies. Elam, Media, Iran. All these three races became Persia. Nebuchadnezzar was king of Babylonia, means Persia. Nebuchadnezzar destroyed the temple, the golden temple of Jerusalem, and beside the city, he robbed the treasures and wealth from Jerusalem temple, and he kept all those things in his God's temples in Babylonia, means Iran. Let us see the visions of Daniel. Daniel 2nd chapter 39th verse. The head of the statue was of fine gold, its chest and arms of silver, its trunk and thighs of bronze, its chest and arms of silver, chest and arms of silver, two hands, both were made up of silver. Daniel had seen silver hands, two hands. So, two hands represents two kingdoms. So, it is connected to the chest. It means that two kingdoms will unified by King Cyrus. He had done that thing, a great thing. 32-39 verses. But after you, another kingdom will rise, inferior to you. Yes, God showed all these things to Daniel. He had seen two kingdoms will merge as one kingdom. So Babylonian kingdom will fall and another kingdom will rise, inferior than Babylonian. This is a vision about King Koresh or King Cyrus in the Holy Bible. Other Daniel's vision, Daniel's chapter, 5th chapter, first verse. Belshazzar the king gave a great banquet for 1,000 of his lords, and in the presence of the thousands he was drinking wine. King Belshazzar, he was grandson of Nebuchadnezzar. So he arranged a banquet and invited all his princes and authorities. They began to drinking wine. While tasting the wine, Belshazzar ordered that the gold and silver vessels with his father Nebuchadnezzar had removed from the temple in Jerusalem he brought, so that the king, his lords, his wives, and his concubines could drink from them. So they brought the gold vessels which had been removed from the sanctuary of the house of God in Jerusalem, and the king, his lords, his wives, and his concubines drank from them. They drank their wine and praised their gods made of gold, silver, bronze, iron, wood, and stone. So Nebuchadnezzar's grandson, he brought all those holy vessels from the God's temple of Iranian. He began to drink in holy vessels. Nebuchadnezzar brought all those golden vessels and silver vessels from Jerusalem. So all the vessels are holy. It is meant for God. It is meant for Jerusalem temple. When they began to drink alcohol, means wine, in those holy vessels, God was angry at that moment. They praises idols. Iranian people worshipped idols in ancient days. It was made up of gold, silver, bronze, iron, wood, and stone. So they drank and praises the idols. At that moment, what happened? Daniel 5th chapter, 6th verse. Suddenly the fingers of a human hand appeared and began writing on the plaster of the palace wall by the lampstand. When the king saw the palm of the hand that was writing, the king's face took on a different look. Yes, frightening thoughts rose up within him. His hip joints gave away and his knees started knocking together. The king cried out to bring into the exorcists, astrologers, and diviners. So Belshazzar, grandson of Nebuchadnezzar, he had seen fingers of a human hand writing something on the palace wall. He scared. Joints were loosed. He frightened. He scared. He called all the exorcists, astrologers, and diviners. They unable to read that scripture. They are able to read that words. They didn't understand that language. Daniel's 5th chapter, 24th verse. This is why he sent the hand to write this inscription. And the inscription says, Mene, mene, tekel, upharsin. This is what it means. Mene, God has counted up your kingdom and brought it to an end. Tekel, you are weighed on the balance scale and come up short. Whereas your kingdom was being divided and given to the Medes and Persians. Yes, mene, mene, tekel, upharsin means God removed you from your kingdom because your acts are not good. You are not genuine person. You insulted Adonai. You didn't care the power of God. So God's hand, the divine hand, appeared on the walls of Iran palace and wrote Mene, Mene, Tekel, Upharsin. 30th verse. That very night Belshazzar, the king of Kassim, was killed. Yes, that same night enemies entered into the palace. The same night enemies murdered him. The same night his kingdom was given to Medes and Parsis. Kasdm, Kassim. Kassim means Kasdm, Kassim. Hebrew language, Kassim means Babylon or Iran or Persia. He was killed by his enemies in same night. So Daniel's visions fulfilled in this way. So the kingdom was given by God to two races, Medes and Elam people. So Medes and Persians united at that time. Now that country is Persia or Iran. The two silver hands were joined together means the two nations were joined together and combined as Persia, Iran. This was done by Cyrus. Cyrus has done this. He is very generous king. How did Cyrus enter into Iran? There was a dry riverbed. It is highly impossible to conquer Iran because river is there. So near to that river, palace is there. So they can't reach through the waters into that palace. But at that time, what happened? The riverbed was completely dry. So Cyrus entered through this river on these dry riverbeds to enter into the palace of Iran. God opened the gates of Iran before King Cyrus or Koresh. Isaiah 45 chapter, Isaiah 45 verse 2. I will go ahead of you, leveling the hills, shattering the bronze gates, smashing the iron bars. I will give you treasures hoarded in the dark, secret riches hidden away, so that you will know that I, Adonai, calling you by your name, I am the God of Israel. So here, Prophet Isaiah prophesied about King Cyrus, Iran king. God went before him and God leveled the hills before him. God shattered the bronze gates before him. God smashing the iron bars before him. Yes, without God's help, it is highly impossible to conquer Iran. God was with Cyrus. Cyrus was not a Jewish person. He was a Gentile king. He was not a worshipper of Lord Adonai, but God chosen him. God selected him. God anointed him. God blessed him. King Cyrus respected Iranian people. King Cyrus maintained dignity among the races. He respected Medes. He respected Persians. He respected Elam people. He respected all nations. He respected all gods. He respected all pagan temples. In his time, 70 years exiles period, Jews were exiled in Babylonian. They spent 70 years of time in Babylonia. King ordered to release all Jews from Iran to visit Jerusalem and to construct their temple once again. Joshua was high priest at that time. Zerubbabel constructed Jerusalem temple at the time of King Cyrus. Jerusalem city was rebuilt by the finances of King Cyrus, Iran king. Pagan King Cyrus, he rebuilt the Jerusalem temple. Iran kings rebuilt Jerusalem temple. Ezra first chapter, first, second, third verses. In the first year of Koresh, king of Persia, in order for the word of Adonai prophesied by Irmiah to be fulfilled, Adonai stirred up the spirit of Koresh, king of Persia, to make a proclamation throughout his whole kingdom, which he also put in writing as follows. In the first year of Koresh, king of Persia. King of Persia means king of Iran. First year of his rule, he passed an order, that is a proclamation throughout his whole kingdom, means throughout whole Iran, which he also put in writing as follows. He put in writing also. What is that order? Second verse. Here is what Koresh, king of Persia says. Adonai, the God of heaven, has given me all the kingdoms on earth, and he has charged me to build him a house in Jerusalem, in Yehuda. So, king of Iran, he said these things. God inspired me to construct a temple in Jerusalem, in my whole kingdom, not only Iran, in his whole kingdom. Whoever there is among you of all his people. So whoever Jewish people, Israel people, may his God be with him. He may go up to Jerusalem in Judah and build the house of Adonai, the God of Israel, the God who is in Jerusalem. Yes, you may go and construct temple in Jerusalem. The king of Iran passed an order in ancient days. Let every survivor, no matter where he lives, be helped by his neighbors with silver, gold, goods and animals, in addition to the voluntary offering for the house of God in Jerusalem. Persian people were so good. Persian people were so liberal. So everybody helped. They gave silver, gold, goods and animals to Jewish people for the construction of Jerusalem temple in Israel. The people were so good. Iranian people were so good. The Persians were so good. Seventh verse. In addition, Koresh the king brought out the vessels from the house of Adonai, which Nebuchadnezzar had taken from Jerusalem and put in the house of his God. Yes, his grand. So Nebuchadnezzar brought the gold things from the Jerusalem temple and put in the house of his gods, pagan gods. So he brought them all the gold from the pagan temples of Iran, which belongs to Israel. He is very generous, very kind, very merciful, very liberal. Just king. Cyrus was just king. Cyrus' rule was golden rule. He handed over all the golden things. Eighth verse. Koresh, king of Persia, had Mithridates, the treasurer, bring them out and make an inventory of them for Sheshbazzar, the prince of Judah. The list was as follows. Yes, he handed over all those things to Jewish people. Gold basins 30, silver basins 1000, nice 29, gold bowls 30, silver bowls of a different kind 410, other vessels 1000. In all there were 5400 articles of gold and silver. Sheshbazzar took all of them along when the exiles were brought up from Babel to Jerusalem. So how great King Cyrus the Great. Yes, he doesn't like this treasure to kept with him because it is divine. This treasure is divine. All these vessels were holy vessels to Adonai. Adonai. So he won't kept all those things in his kingdom Iran. He sent it back to Jerusalem from Iran. So Iran King Cyrus the Great, Iranian people, they're very good. They helped a lot to construct Jerusalem temple. Second chapter, first verse. Here is a list of people of the province who had been exiled, carried off to Babel by Nebuchadnezzar, king of Babel, but who later returned from exile and went up to Jerusalem and Judah, each to his own city. So they went with Zerubbabel, Yeshua, Nehemiah, Sariah, Reliah, Mordecai, Bilshan, Mishpar, Bigvai, Recham, and Bana. So all the names, those who started from Iran, all those names were written in their book also, in their list also mentioned. So high priest Yehoshua, Joshua, he returned to Jerusalem, and Zerubbabel, he returned to Jerusalem. Many people returned to Jerusalem. Their families list are there who constructed the temple of Jerusalem. Their family names were written in Iranian books and Jewish books also. List of the people they went from Iran. Isaiah prophesied about King Cyrus 200 years earlier, and prophet Jeremiah prophesied about King Cyrus 70 years earlier. Let us see Isaiah 34th chapter. Come close, you nations, and listen. Pay close attention, you peoples. Let the earth hear and everything in it, the world with all its produces. For Adonai is angry at every nation, furious with all their armies. He has completely destroyed them, handed them over to slaughter. The slain will be thrown out, the stench will rise from their corpse, the mountains will flow with their blood. Adonai is very angry at every nation. At every nation is represented here Edom. Edom is pagan nation. Edom is Isaac's first son. Esau nation, firstborn nation, cursed nation. But here not only Edom. Edom is representing the enemies. Edom is enemy of Israel. So Edom is representing enemies of Israel. All nations. He called all nations. He was very furious at that time. This is indicating before the second coming of Jesus Christ. Jesus Christ will come second time. This is the warning of the Adonai and prophecy from the prophet Isaiah to all the nations. Edom is not Edom here actually. This is an universal judgment. This is worldwide judgment, not limited to Edom nation. Here the symbolism of Edom is hidden. Edom is signal here. Edom is long-standing enemy to Israel. People will face great tribulation in coming days. This will happen before the second coming of Messiah. Eusebius also told, end of the world, last judgment. When people rebuild the Jerusalem temple, once again, third world war will happen. This is not the third world war. This will not lead to the third world war. The war will close. Iran will defeat. Iran regime will defeat. People will be happy. Iranian people will feel happy. Iranian people will free from the bondages. Political, economical, Superman will rise before the second coming of Jesus Christ. All nations will unite one day before second coming of Messiah. Isaiah 34 chapter 5th verse. For my sword has drunk its fill in heaven. Now it descends on Edom to judge them. The people I had doomed to destruction. There is a sword that belongs to Adonai. It is filled with blood, gorged with fat, filled with the blood of lambs and goats, gorged with the fat of the kidneys of rams, for Adonai has sacrificed in Basra. Here, this verse is indicating the pagan worship, human sacrifice of all the nations. Even ancient Persia, human sacrifice was very common. Many immoral practices were very common in ancient days. So many nations practices paganism, so many nations practices human sacrifices, so many nations consulting astrologers, all are against of Adonai. So he vexed up with the animal sacrifice also. They are still sacrificing goats, rams, ox, hens, birds, and some other cattle to their goddesses. God doesn't like all those things. He said, I prepared a great slaughter for all those nations, because Adonai himself vexed up with those rituals and practices in his heavenly kingdom. 34 chapter 7th verse. The wild oxen will fall with them, the young bulls with the strong mature ones. Their land will be drunk with blood, and their dust made greasy with fat. Wild oxen means politically strong leaders will disappear. Lord will kill the political leaders in before his second coming. Lord will interfere in kingdoms issues. Lord will dethrone the kings before his second coming. Lord will act before his second coming in all kingdoms as an authoritative person, as King of kings, Lord of lords. Eighth verse, for Adonai has a day of vengeance, year of requital for fighting with Zion. So, day of vengeance, year of requital for fighting with Zion. Yes, Israel enemies were God's enemies. Zion's enemies were God's enemies. Here, Persia, Iran, and some other nations, those who are maintained enmity with Israel, they are enemies to God, according to Isaiah prophecy. He said, God set a year, a month, a day, and an hour for Israel's or Zion's enemies. Day of vengeance. Yes, God will pour his wrath upon the enemies of Israel. God gives victory to Israel. God will bless Israel. God be with Israel. God will go on fight in the battlefield to rescue Israel's. 34 chapter 9th. Its streams will be changed to tar, its dust to sulfur, its land burning tar. Here, the scripture mentioned about tar, T-A-R, tar. Let us see Zagros Mountains in Iran. It was a geographical formation. Bitumen is available in this area. Bitumen means tar is available in Iran. Bitumen springs are very common. Tar springs are very common in Iran. Kermanshah, there is a place in Iran. 7 kilometers tar spring is there. Dehloran, there is a tar spring is there. Naturally, tar oozes from this sand. Main springs 9 kilometer distance also there. Bitumen mixes with the warm water combined with the soil and the sand to create natural asphalt. 10 liters liquid will flow from it every day in every area. Bandar Abbas area is very famous for this bitumen place springs. So Iran is famous for bitumen. Iran is famous for tar. Iran is famous for springs. Naturally, petrol, bitumen, the tar oozes from the layers of the sand into the desert areas. That is very common phenomena. Oases are very less, but petrol oozes, tar oozes, bitumen oozes from those areas. Persia is very rich. Iran is very rich once, but they used that money for machine guns, warfares, not for people's care, not for people's food, not for people's shelter, not for people happiness, not for people peace. So they became poor now. Actually, many petrol wells are in Iran, Persia. Persian people were very beautiful. Persian ladies are very beautiful. Persian hot, very good people they are. But some groups of people entered into Persia and began to rule from 40 years. So this is not a good rule. Iran regime is under the control of mullahs. Iran regime is under the control of Islam. These people were Persians, not Muslims, not Arabs. But now, major the people were Persians. They are sons of Shem. They were sons of Shem. They were sons of Japheth. They were grandsons of Noah. These people are very good people. But some other races people from different parts of the Arabic world, they entered and began to rule them cruelly. Actually, Ishmael people, Ishmael's sons, Dubai, Saudi Arabia, Riyadh, Qatar, Oman. So all these were sons of Ishmaelites. They were Arabs. These people are against Israel once, but now they are very friendly. They are supplying petrol to Israel. They understood Israel is friend of them, not an enemy. Because Arabs and Israelis were children of Abraham. Now the war is with not Arabic countries. The war is with the Islamic regime. The people are Persians. The people are not Arabics. They by forcefully accepted Islam in Persia. Now they rejected Islam. 50,000 mosques closed because nobody want to visit mosques. Closed. They accepted Christianity. Messiah had appeared in the dream to 10 lakhs of people. 10 lakhs. Sometimes God appeared to millions of people to Iran. They had seen Messiah in their visions. They had seen Jesus Christ in their visions. Persians are different race. Arabic people are different race. Now the war is with Islamic regime, not with the Persian people. Now all the Islamic countries, they are supporting indirect Israel and America. That's why Iran regime targeted Dubai, Saudi Arabia, Qatar and all these countries. That is the reason. Muslim country, Arabic countries are not supporting Iran regime. 11th verse. He will stretch over it the measuring line of confusion and the plumb line of the empty void. Measuring line of confusion. It is tohu in Hebrew word and Empty or voidness is bohu in Hebrew language. So God will confuse them. God will confuse Iran once again. Irani regime, not the people. God will confuse the nobles also. And the plumb line of the empty void. Kingdoms will confuse, kings will confuse, prime minister will confuse, the regime will confuse. The scenario will change. Of its nobles, none will be called to be king. There is no king in Iran, according to the Bible prophecy. And all its princes will be nothing. There is no aid to Iran. There is no aid to their kings. There is no aid to the prince and princess, kings and queens. Nobles will gone, princes will gone. 14th verse. Wild cats and hyenas will meet there, and billy goats call to each other. Lily, the night monster, will lurk there and find herself a place to rest. So, according to this prophecy, those nations hate God. They will a place of demonic spirits. Demonic spirits will enter into their kingdoms. Demonic spirits will enter into their palaces. This is the prophecy of the Isaiah prophet. Wild goat means hairy. In Hebrew, it is called saty or satyr. Demonic, it means. Hebrew seir means hairy. So there is a field devil according to Hebrew. Lilith, a field devil. That's why elders advise, don't go into the fields in night time. Don't go night time. Demonic spirits will roaming in that areas. So stay at the house. That is the advice of the people. So here what happened? All these words are mentioned about the second coming of Jesus Christ. So all these things will happen before the second coming of Jesus Christ. This is the third world war effect, because when they're bombing the petrol wells deeply burned, nobody cannot quench it. The smoke will rise from the oil wells, that is indicating these places. Streams will fill with the sulfur. No vegetation, no crops, no seed, no fertile, no crescent belt, because whenever tar is flowing, no seed will grow from that place. We can't plant any seed in tar areas, in sandy areas, in muddy pool areas. So the land will fill with the sulfur, smoke will rise from that sulfur, and the land will fill with the tar and burning sulfur. All these things will happen. But now the war is between Islamic regime and America and Israel, indirectly supporting Saudi Arabia, Kuwait, Qatar, Turkey. All those countries are supported indirectly Israel and America. In coming days, now Persians supporting Israel and America, they requested them to free. But before the second coming of Messiah, what will happen? The people are so against of the Israel. The regime is also against of the Israel. Most of the countries will against of Israel. Most of the countries are against of Israel people, because they constructed Jerusalem temple. Now that place is occupied by Islamic people, Arabic people. So wherever King Solomon constructed temple, that place is occupied by Arabs. So if Israel destroyed that place and try to construct other temple, King Solomon temple, war will start. That is the third world war. Many countries will involve in that battlefield. Now this is not third world war, because Europe will not enter, Russia, China, these people, these countries, the nations, they won't interfere in it now. This is the war between Israel, America, and Israel and Iran regime. Even Islamic countries also indirectly supporting America and Israel. They're against of the regime of Iran now. Indirectly, they're supporting America and Israel. So this will not lead to the third world war. So if third world will happen, Isaiah 34 chapter, all these things will happen. Now this is not third world war. So they're very carefully doing the battle. They only eliminating the regime, only leaders, only nobles, only presidents, only kings. They're not fighting with the Persian people. They're not fighting with the Iran people. But in third world war, scenario will change. Most of the countries against of Israel at the time. So that is the third world war. Now Jerusalem temple is not constructed. Whenever they constructed, then third world war will come. Thank you. God bless you.